Tyler, so how have you been, mate? Okay.
Yeah, really good. Just finished camp. Had a couple of days off, so going on holiday tomorrow. So looking forward to a bit of rest now.
Oh, good stuff. I got you in good time then, mate.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. So before we get stuck into your rugby story, where was home for you as a kid and who lived at home with you?
So I lived in Halifax with my mum and my sister.
Right.
It's only really been me, my mum and my sister. So my sister moved out at 16, and then it was just me and my mum from age of 8, 9. So
Right. So how did rugby become your sport and where was it that you were talking? How was you introduced to rugby?
so where I'm from, like it's like quite football dominated, like especially the part of Halifax I'm from. It's not really
Right.
massive rugby. So all my friends from primary school played it. So I thought, you know what, I'll go down. My mum let me do anything I wanted to. I did karate, anything I wanted to. My mum let me do it.
Right.
And I thought I'll go down to football. And I played a couple of games. I played goalkeeper because I was the biggest kid there. So put me in net.
Typical, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, just filled net. I was allowed to come out once. They let me come out in defence once, and I rugby tackled someone, and the coach pulled me aside. My mum took it aside and said, "Look, it's not for him. There's a good rugby club in Siddle." So yeah, got taken down there, and then rest is history.
Right. So how old do you reckon you was, Tyler? Was you?
I was about 7, yeah.
Roger. So do you remember much about how it used to be? Was it like, was your coach behind you nominating ball carriers and?
So when I first went, I played the age up because my year wasn't taking any on.
Right.
So I played the age up, and I remember my first game actually because I stood right back like as a goalkeeper does. First game, I stood right back, and I run at sticks, and I was told, "Oh no, you can't do that." And I scored my first try in that game, and I didn't even score it properly. I threw it down like American football.
Yeah.
So it just went from bad to worse, but I slowly got the hang of it.
No, that's it. So was there any like town team stuff for you that say like, would you have been 10 or 11 in year 6, say? Was there like town team stuff?
No, I like honestly, I never got anything into rugby. I think there's more stuff to do with it now.
Yeah.
I know Halifax do a lot of stuff, but no. But when I was younger, there wasn't much. Like I say, it was more football.
Okay. So what teams were you playing against then? Was it?
We played a lot like Halifax games. So we played against Greetland, King Cross, Illingworth. I think had a team. Halifax Irish, I don't think they have a team anymore, but they were teams like that. And then as you sort of got older, you sort of like travelled a bit further. So we played against teams like Keighley, Albion, and Guiseley and stuff like that. So we did eventually end up playing more or less every team.
All right, mate. So how was your transition into high school then?
To be fair, I cocked it up a little bit. I went where my mates were from rugby, so I went and sort of followed my mates. My mum begged me. She's like, "No, come on, let's go to a better high school." I'm like, "No." I went to the high school that was just on the road. It had a bad reputation for itself, but it was just on the road. All my mates went there, and I saw that to be with my mates. So
that made it smooth then, mate. I imagine being with your pals and that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. We were known as soon as we got there as a group of lads who were going to be something to watch out for. So
right. So how was school rugby compared to club rugby, mate? Because Siddle's a pretty big club, isn't it? And they play a good standard of rugby, don't they, at Siddle? So
yeah. So school rugby was it was quite non-existent because nobody wanted to do it. So for my school in particular, it wasn't a very sporty school, so they want football team. But eventually we sort of got a rugby team going, and I think in our second year we got to schools finals. Do you know, for Calderdale?
Yeah.
We got to the finals of that, but that's as far as it goes. Really, we were known as as a school that had all sort of like misfits. Do you know what I mean? And we were all naughty kids and kids that just got trouble outside of school. So rugby wasn't really on anyone's mind at that moment in time.
Yeah, your mum's fuming with you, and you're just having a ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So did you play football as well? And you mentioned karate before. So what was you into then, mate?
Honestly, I was into anything that had me sort of like moving. I think my mum was into anything that got me out of house.
Yeah.
Because I was a bit of not a naughty kid, but a little bit annoying. I'd go out and climb on houses and climb on roofs. I remember once I threw my shoe up on an house just so I could go get it. So I threw my shoe up on a roof and then just climbed up to go get it. And then my mum went, you've got me in anything that'd keep me out of trouble, really.
All right, and probably without knowing it, mate, the karate developed in that, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because like from my area, everyone like fighting and messing around and all that. So it sort of helped me in that sort of aspect of the discipline wise.
Yeah, and so would you have had to have like sorted the school rugby team out yourselves? Did you have to force a teacher into taking you on, or were they willing? Or
well, the teacher we had was into rugby union,
right?
So he said, if you can get the players to come, he said, I'll coach it. So he eventually just said to his mates, come on, it'll be like, we got out of school early on a Wednesday to go travel to a game. So we're a bit no-brainer. So everyone were pretty sound about
that. Yeah, that was your selling point, mate, an early afternoon on a Wednesday.
Early afternoons.
So again, I appreciate like you were young and that, but was Halifax not going into schools then and like trying to promote you wanting to play for Halifax?
Not really, no.
Right.
Obviously, you knew of a few players, and because of the job that my mum used to work in, there were rugby players that worked in that company. So that was sort of how I knew rugby players. But no, it wasn't as big then as it is now. Like I can't imagine it not being the same. Halifax coming to every school, and they're always preaching about it and really good with that. But they just wasn't back then.
Yeah, so back then you all wanted to be a Jamie Vardy, I'm guessing, mate, wasn't it? Because he come from Halifax town, didn't he?
Oh yeah, well, I didn't have a clue about football. I wouldn't watch football. I just enjoyed having a kick about with my mates.
I'm getting to kick someone as well.
Yeah.
So was union ever an option for you, Tyler? Because is it all Bradleidians up there? It's Gaz Widdop's side, in it, and
so by me we had Old Wishwervians, which is like a little rivalry between Old Broads. I just went to Old Wish because again my mates went there when rugby league was over. They'd go there during sort of like the off season. So I just like to do out to keep going. That for a bit, but I would just give me a ball, I'll run and I'll try to do my best. But I never knew rules or all like that.
Right, so you'd play all year then, mate, wouldn't you? With rugby league being a summer sport, union's a winter sport, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, what difference did you struggle? Did you struggle with any of the differences, or the principles are the same, aren't they, mate? They're just like smash someone, take the ball in.
Yeah.
You know, it's just I guess it's the 10, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're getting back 10 and that.
It's more or less the same, like you say, but you can't be as aggressive, especially in like the age we was like 14, 15, 16. You can't be as aggressive in that age as you could be in rugby league. And I think coming to grips with that, I'm always getting told off. So
yeah, no, for like listeners and viewers, it's the intricacies in it, Tyler. It's depending where was you playing rugby union wise. Would you have played centre? Would you with your carrying or in the back row?
I played anywhere really because I was a big thing. They just said they'll put me anywhere. I started on bench wherever there was a space. They just put me there.
Don't put you front row, mate. Not in the union.
I was never front row. I think is it 8 that sits out back?
Yeah, back row, like loose forward, isn't it, in rugby league?
Yeah, I played 8. I think it was a bit of centre, yeah. But I didn't have a clue what any of them did. Just give me a ball on the back.
Just appeal, see what happens. So when are you starting to think you could do something with rugby? Was it something you thought you could use as a career, or were you just enjoying yourself?
I was just enjoying myself at that age, especially at 14, 15. And that was the age where people started getting picked up for scholarships as well. But I wasn't like bothered me until my mates were bothered about it, and I thought, actually, it's quite important. Rugby league were never like my plan. I never wanted to. I didn't know you could get paid to play rugby. I didn't know there was anything of it. So my plan was always just go to uni, follow the proper route, become a teacher, and just play rugby for fun. But obviously, it's turned out a bit differently. Yeah.
So is that the route you'd have gone down? Do you think, mate? Yeah, teaching.
Yeah. Well, from being in primary school and the effects that the teachers had on me there, I always wanted to do the primary school teaching route. But then I toyed with like joining the army as well. So I had a bit of options.
Yeah, quite a broad scope, mate, innit?
Yeah. Just like whatever I see and I like it, I want to do it. I remember going up to Florida and I went and watched dolphin show or seal show or something. I said I want to be a dolphin trainer now. Do you know what I mean? So,
class, yeah. You could have ended up at the Miami Dolphins, mate. 2 birds, one stone, couldn't you?
Exactly.
So when teams are sniffing round, then, mate, was you one of the first players they'd look at, or how did they approach it, or your mum? And
so the Huddersfield did this thing where it was like a couple of training sessions, see how it was, and they did like stages. So I think like 3 stages, and they narrowed it down each time. And I got right to end stage. They invited us to go for a meal and go watch a game, and that there were about 7 of us, I think. And out of that 7, there was 1 person that didn't get picked for the scholarship. It was me.
Right.
So I saw I was a bit distraught more than anything.
I'm gonna say, how'd you take that then, mate? Because you're still a young lad. Is it 14, 15 then?
I was 14 and I was a bit good. And I thought I must be doing something wrong. Or my first thing is, people don't like me. They don't like me. I must be doing something wrong. I must not be like a likable person.
Right.
But like I said, with people that my mum used to work with and that, one of them happened to be a scout for Salford.
Yeah.
And he came and watched the game and then said, look, we'll invite you for a trial, see what the actual coaches think. And then I think I'd done 2 sessions and right, we'll sign you up for the next 2 years.
Who's Salford did?
Yeah, for the next 2 years in scholarship.
How mad's that?
Oh, so.
In it, yeah. So did Huddersfield ever tell you why? Or was it just No, okay.
So you got it. I don't know if they still do it now, but you get a letter. So you get a letter through the post. And all my mates are like, have you got your letter yet? Have you got your letter yet? And I'm like, no, I've not got a letter yet. Have you got right address? Do they know where I live? And all that?
Yeah. No, you would be, wouldn't you? If other lads are doing that, I think it's not that long ago or that either, Tyler, really, is it? It should have been a better process than that. Like, even if it is a letter and it's a negative letter for you, surely there should be. Listen, they obviously rated you to a degree, didn't they? Because you got to that last stage. There was something there that they wanted you to develop. Go back to Siddle, work on this.
Yeah,
isn't it?
That far as well.
Yeah, but so you've overlooked the process you've gone through that you've done well in because of the end result wasn't quite what you wanted, which again you took away from rugby and made it a little bit personal to you, which is obviously worked now because of how well you're doing. Yeah. But surely there should have been something back for you, Tyler, where they could have went, we like this about you, we like B about you, we like C about you, but go back to Siddle and work on D and E, shouldn't they? Really, especially for a club like Huddersfield, mate, as well.
Yeah, they were never that. It was just like it.
Just no letter.
Just didn't hear anything back, and then I'm thinking I must have done something, but I don't know what I've done.
Yeah.
And obviously, as a kid, and then I'm going through all these emotions because I'm hormonal and all that sort of stuff, and I'm thinking, what's going on? And obviously, I just like me and my mum, and well, I'm a sister to be fair, but me and my mum are dead close.
Yeah.
So my mum just said it's not end of the world. It's not something that wasn't plan A. We'll work out, go back to Siddle, work hard, and see what happens.
Right. And what did you think of Huddersfield when you were shown round? And that was it just the ground? Because I believe the training facilities back then weren't great, was they?
It was at Leeds Road. I think they're still there now.
Are they? So is it decent now? Is that the YMCA? That?
No.
Right.
It's at Leeds Road. So we only trained on the field. It was just the field. So there wasn't much to sort of take about it, but being in that sort of environment was good enough for me. Yeah.
And what's it like when you're playing? Was there a lot of kids there you wouldn't have knew, obviously, because it was Huddersfield?
No, so I knew quite a few, from playing against them and stuff like that. And I still speak to a lot of them now. Even if they don't play, I still speak to a lot of them. It wasn't a case of I didn't know them. It was just a case of we knew each other better because we went there.
Yeah. And what was you like in a new environment or a new challenge, mate? Did you thrive in it, or was you a little bit timid? And
I'm not a shy person, mate. I get nervous at first, but it takes me a couple of minutes. I can just get on with it. I think it helped having people there from Siddle as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, that's fair enough. So what's the process from Salford ringing you to signing like a 2-year scholarship thing there? What was that process, mate?
So it was a case of, like I said, it was somebody that my mum knew, and it rang my mum. Look, we'll get him up, and I think he's got potential. So I went up, trained a couple of times, and then I think it was Alan Hunt at the time. He like head of youth, I think, and he sort of signed on a 2-year scholarship, which is all you can do anyway, because scholarship is only 2 years.
Yeah.
And then we'll see how we go from there. And I wasn't expecting to play any games really in my first year, because you have your older lot playing against older lot.
Yeah.
First year's play, but I managed to play a few in that, and then in the second year as well.
How was that standard again, mate? Did you feel it was a step up at that age, or is a game of rugby just a game of rugby to you?
I definitely felt it, because there were people that were a lot more, that had matured a lot sooner.
Yeah.
There were some big bodies in there, and I was still sort of like, I was the most unaggressive kid ever, like in terms of rugby.
Yeah.
So coming up against people who from Wigan and stuff like that, who were naturally aggressive, was a massive step up. But I slowly but surely got there.
Right. And I was getting there and back in, because it's a lot of, not only is it a sacrifice for you, mate, whoever's taking it, I'm guessing your mum was involved in that. It's a lot of sacrifice for your mum and your sister and that as well, isn't it? It's like a family buy-in.
Yeah, so my mum took me every time, so she'd have to pick me up from school because of how far it was away. It's a 5-minute drive at best, but getting there at tea time,
nightmare.
Bit of a nightmare. So my mum would come pick me up from school, set straight off. And she did that every time, and that's honestly, I couldn't like thank her enough for it. And then eventually another lad was there from up the road from me, so I just sort of like joined.
Yeah. And where was he based then? Did you play from the ground, or was he at that? Is it Pendlebury or Pendleton College or something?
From the ground, so I had to drive to the edge.
Did you?
You had like a little community pitch at the side.
Right.
That's where they trained.
Yeah. And what was the end like there, and why did it?
It only ended because of I'd signed for the academy. I did sign for the academy, but because they was in the £1 million game, then they just pulled it. So they pulled the academy.
So it's like, without being rude, like they didn't back themselves maybe, and then they might have lost the academy.
Yeah, well, no, even though they'd won, that's when we found out that they'd pulled it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
right.
Because if they'd have lost, they'd have had to pull it anyway.
Yeah.
Sort of fell that way, and then sort of left a lot of us without anything really.
Yeah, and how do you go about putting the feelers out, mate? Or do you just go back Siddle and see what happens?
I went back Siddle, mate. I went back Siddle at 16, and I was playing open age, so I was playing against fully grown men.
Yeah.
And that helps me get better, playing against people like that. But I joined the rugby academy. I was going to go join an engineering college, but I thought, I'll stick at it again. I'll see what I can do with it.
Yeah.
So I joined the rugby academy that was ran from Siddle.
All right, okay.
As Greenwood. And luckily, they know everyone then, do you know what I mean, in the game.
Yeah.
So they got a couple of the boys trials at Wakefield, Leeds, Bradford. And then because my behaviour want the best, like, look, if you sort that, let you go. But right now, we don't want to put our name to you. And I thought, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And eventually, Leeds offered a 3-month trial. And I signed a contract after a month for the rest of the year. And then sort of just went from there.
So, was you always confident in your ability, mate? Because you go in these places, and they're not small clubs by no means, mate. And they're all giving you them deals, but for one reason or another, it gets withdrew or it's not quite worked. You're there or thereabout, but do you know that yourself, or again, are you just a bit laid back about it?
Yeah, I'm quite laid back about it. Like, even now when people talk to me and they're like, "Oh, you've been playing really well," and I'm like, "Well, I don't know really." I'm my own biggest critic. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I could have won loads of awards, and I'd have still been like, "Look, I don't know. I can't really comment on my own like after a game, I'm always like watching the game back, especially if it's been on telly. I'm watching it. I'm even listening to what people are saying about me. Do you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. How do you take that if it's not good, mate?
It's just one of them. It's like, all right, that's how they think about that. I'm going to prove you wrong next week.
Okay. Because you can go one way or another, can't you? And people can be maybe obsessive, not the right word, but it can be a trigger, can't it?
Yeah, I'm
what
like,
people say.
Because of how my mum's always said, like, not everyone's gonna be liking you.
No.
Just deal with it. It's just you've got to do what you've got to do, and then that's just how it is. If you don't like me, you don't like me. If you don't like how I play, you don't like how I play. But
people obviously do, don't they, mate?
Yeah.
So it's all right. So when you go up Leeds then and you've agreed the 3 month originally, mate, how does that chat come about after a month? Have you played games at this point?
Yeah, so I wasn't supposed to play, again, I wasn't supposed to play in there. I had to play because I think Mikolai got called up for the first team, so there was a spot there and they said like you could play. Right. But like carried on playing from there.
Yeah. And do they reach out to you and say this is what we're offering, mate? If we want you to stay, basically. You don't want to risk you leaving, I imagine, after impressing people.
Yeah, so because Leeds was the one academy, I didn't really look. I wasn't looking at anywhere else.
Yeah.
So Leeds are like, all right, we'll offer you this, and honestly, it was peanuts. But I just thought, all right, yeah, they want to keep me. And then the next year, peanuts again. But yeah, they want to keep me. They want to keep me. And then
to start, in it, mate, you're foot in the door, then, aren't you? And
exactly, and it was a case of if whatever I needed, I got it. My mum helped me financially if I needed it, but I always had like that drive anyway. So I used to work in a nightclub, glass collecting.
Yeah.
I'd work in a nightclub on a Friday night.
Is that what you told Leeds? That was it. I'm glass collecting.
Yeah, well, I said
raving.
So I'd work from like 9-10 o'clock until about 5 o'clock the next morning, and then I'd have training on the Saturday morning. So I'd get home, and then I'd have to get a shower and then get showered off. So sometimes I'd go to training without to go to sleep, and then I'd have like a team run or whatever.
But that's a sacrifice that viewers and listeners need to know, don't they, mate? It's not a given, is it? You've got to go and earn. No, you cross one day and put your body online the next, because you just never know when it's going to carry on or end here. And
yeah, exactly. My mum's always told me like my education comes first. Everything like that. When I'm in school, education came first. If my education was slipping, rugby were pulled. Frankly, I did all right in education. I got everything I needed to get.
Right.
So I've always had that sort of mentality where rugby's not main priority yet. It's a bit of fun still. So I need to earn money and sort of do this, because I'd passed my test in that and I needed to pay for fuel.
You know I mean? That's it, mate. Yeah. And insurance, tax, everything else, innit? And
to be fair, my mum would pay my tax, so I just paid my insurance and my fuel, so like £300 a month, something like that.
Yeah. So how were you combining finishing school with playing for the clubs you're playing for, while playing against fellas at times, mate, weren't you? You said yourself you're playing open age. It said, how do you control the controllables and all of that and keep your feet on the ground sort of thing? Because you're mixing with adults, mate, and you're not quite an adult yet, are you? Yeah,
it was good because at Siddle, a lot of them have been there. They've been in the system, and they sort of like know how it works, but they just like they take you under your wing and like, this is how it is. This is what it's like playing against men. If you can hold your own at 16 against fully grown men that want to take your head off or that want to fight you, and then you'll be able to play against 16.
So you'll be all right. Yeah.
That's what I mean. So I've never took a backward step, because I've sort of brought up on the term of they're gonna come and kill you, they're gonna come and take your head off. Deal with it. It's rugby.
That's it. And is it national conference Siddle in as well?
Yeah, it's the Siddle in national conference. I played for the second team, so more like the ones that actually did want to kill you. Yeah,
that actually do want to rip your head off. Yeah. So when you're at Leeds, mate, what is it about Leeds that impressed you? And is the daft stuff that we all take for granted available to academy lads, like your rehabs, your gyms, your physios, psychiatrists and all that? Are they all available?
Everything you can think of were there. It was a great club. And I've supported Leeds. They were the first team when I got into rugby that I'd sort of like support. They were Leeds v Bradford were my first ever rugby game. That went on.
Not bad, is it?
So I sort of living the dream whilst not living the dream. You know what I mean, our academy. So I wasn't taking anything for granted. I'd do everything for myself. If it were there, it were there. But I would never want to try to stay out of the physio room. Try not to get any strapping and all that because it wasn't there when I was playing at Siddle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I quite like that, mate. Yeah, I get that. So, and it sounds like, no disrespect to your mum, but if you thought you were the boy walking round in your stash, she'd give you a slap around the head until you get your changed and that, which is what you need.
There was one male in this house and it was me, and I still want the man of the house. You know
it's right, innit? Yeah. Her roof, her reels, innit?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, did you play Yorkshire and England Academy, mate?
So I played Yorkshire Academy, yeah.
How does that come about?
I don't know. I think because they were trying to assemble a Yorkshire squad, I just got a phone call saying, "Do you want to come down?" And I'm like, yeah, definitely. Like I'd have done anything because I think I just loved playing. I still loved playing at the time. So anything extra I could do, I'd do. So yeah, I was all over that, and it was sort of like a big honour because I think it was the first time they'd put Yorkshire and Lancashire back in it.
Okay.
I've done another academy series or in a while anyway.
Yeah. So was it used Cumbria, London, Lancashire?
No, you were literally just Yorkshire, Lancashire.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, so we've done like a little War of the Roses series, and then with Yorkshire versus Aussie Schoolboys and Lancashire versus Aussie Schoolboys.
Right, and how did that go, mate? Is that something, again, you thrived in, it's another standard you want to set or reach?
Well, a lot of the Aussie Schoolboys are playing in NRL now, do you know what I mean? And it was enjoyable, and I felt like I took it in my stride, and I felt like I sort of like proved that I could play with them.
Yeah.
You know, at that time.
Yeah.
So yeah, really good. I enjoyed it definitely.
And what you like for stashing memorabilia, mate? Did you keep it? Did you manage to swap a jersey? Do you give it away?
Oh, I kept mine. I kept my Yorkshire stuff. Every club I've been at, I've sort of kept a shirt from there. So
yeah. Right, we won't tell no one that because they'll want you to sign it. You kept nothing. I've got no. So again, is that another tick list that maybe academies are looking for, Tyler? Maybe, and does it look good for? I'm not saying that you obviously are good enough, but do you reckon it half looked good for them that they had someone representing Yorkshire as well?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think for Leeds there was about 7 of us.
Right. That's a good spine of a side, that, isn't it?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. From Siddle as well. I think there were 4 of us that had played at Siddle. So it was quite good. It was like just playing with your mates again.
Yeah. So what is it, do you think? Sorry, I didn't send you this. It's just coming to me head as we're talking. But what is it about your area, Siddle, Halifax, that produced these type of players? But not only did they produce them, they stay and excel in the game, don't they?
Yeah, I think especially Siddle, and this is like no disrespect to any other clubs because every club round here now is sort of getting up there. But with Siddle have always tried to put the best. They've always tried to have the best facilities, the best pitch, the best sort of like I don't know what you call it, like a sort of group that run the club,
the committee and that are all good and stuff. Yeah,
so they've always put everything into it, and even now, like when you go down to Siddle, it's better than some like League One clubs.
Yeah, to be honest, mate. Yeah, some of the amateur clubs now, the setups and that.
Oh, exactly.
And even if like some of the conference teams, I don't want to go into monetaries and that, but they'll be paying lads a few quid, won't they? So they're virtually semi-pro, some of the national conference sides, aren't they? But still, their facilities will be, like you said, be better than League One and some champ sides probably. And so, with that in mind, mate, was there ever anything that happened before we carry on about your Leeds career that might have put a doubt in your head other than the Huddersfield thing, or was you just always, because you clearly laid back, we've had a laugh about it and that, saying, I get the game's a game and you've just realised that you can play a bit, which you certainly can. But was there never something that thought, I might just go back to being a Bartez and playing in net.
No, not really. I think obviously with everything, it's sort of like you have moments where you think, oh, do I really want to do this? Like I'm not gonna lie, like I get up after work at 5 o'clock in the morning, I get up 6 o'clock to go to rugby, and I think, do I actually want to do this now? Or if I'm getting on Saturday morning and I'm just like, do I even need this? Like I could just go to Siddle and have fun. Yeah. You sort of just stick with it because you're not the only one. There's another 20 or 30 lads that are in the same boat that are doing the exact same thing, that are all there to get the same outcome.
Yeah. No, I imagine when you've put that last wash on at R5, mate, glasses, and then you're getting flogged up hills at 7, 8 o'clock. It's not nice.
No, it's not. But you just have to look at a positive. The way I seen it was, I'll get through this, I'll get on, and I'll go to bed for a bit.
Yeah.
Go to bed and I'll work tonight. That's it.
And do it all again. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Right, so back to Leeds then, mate. So how the loan spells come about? So if you don't mind me asking, you went to Fev first, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to play in the Championship Shield.
Right.
Into Leeds. We just we'd finished playing, and there was like, both Lee and Fev were struggling to field teams, and they're like, "Do you want to go play?" I'm like, "Well, yeah." And I went,
"Yeah,
and we'll give you some money for it." I'm like, "Yeah."
Happy day, yeah.
No brainer. So I went and we that was my first ever professional game, and I scored in it, and we won. So I went over the moon with that, and it was a good it was a taste of playing professional as such. So
yeah,
I sort of like we're living off the high for ages.
Yeah, and how was that compared to academy? Because it is another step up, mate. But it's a different rugby as well, isn't it?
Yeah. It was a massive step up. It reminded me of when I was playing Siddle 16 against a load of men, because a lot of league players, they just wanted to take your head off.
Yeah.
You had players like Jamie Acton and that who were naturally aggressive and just want to kill you.
Plus, you've got Leeds next to your name as well, really, haven't you? They want to put a marker on a young up and coming, maybe, don't they? And
they want to say it's like everywhere. They want to show that you're playing their game. You're not coming down because you're too good for them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
And did you understand that as a young lad as well?
Oh, definitely.
Did you?
I took it in my stride. And I'm like, wow, it's surreal. I'm playing as people I've watched on telly before and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a bit mad.
No, because you're still a young lad now, but you've had a good attitude right through, really, haven't you? So how did you treat your loans? So I'll ask you about individual ones, but did any of the loans ever feel like a bit of a kick in the face, or did you always see them as an opportunity to play?
No, they were always an opportunity to play. Like when I went to York, I was playing straight away, and York were a good up-and-coming side at the time. And I was still a young kid. I think my first game was a summer back, and I played 10 minutes. I played in that sort of game, but I sort of thought, right, this is the standard. I want to get better so they can put the faith in me to carry on playing.
Yeah.
And then obviously I just played a bit more. And there was one game where I didn't play, and I was like 18, and I was sort of like spewing about that, thinking, what have I been sent here for to not play? Do you know that sort of attitude? But then I thought, well, no, there's a reason why I'm not playing, so I'll be better in training or whatever to play.
Yeah. And when you're in them environments, mate, say the 18th man time or the 10 minutes off the bench and that, I'm guessing, unlike the others field letter, they make you aware of certain aspects they want you to improve, don't they? Or they'll show you video and stuff, Yeah,
definitely. Because of the games, I'd go back to Leeds, and one of the assistant coach, Johnny Warehouse, he'd go through everything we've made, pull me, I was thinking, oh, Johnny, not again. Pull me, and he'd have everything clipped up for me. He'd go through it, and it just, everything he did, I think, right, next week that's my focus for the next week. And I personally think that's helped me become better. I think that's what sort of installed me being harsh on myself and watching my own game back constantly because of the people like Johnny who've helped me along the way. All
right, mate. So how long was you at Fev for?
I didn't do long at Fev. I only did like little spells at Fev.
Yeah, a couple of games here and there.
Because there was a dual reg with Leeds.
Yeah. How did you find that? Did anyone ever? I've asked a few people this, mate. It's not just straight at you. When you're on dual reg, do you feel people look at you different? Because most of the time you only actually do captains run and play, don't you?
Yeah, I think when I went to Fed, because it is such a big club, a lot of them like ex like international players and stuff like that. You sort of you're in that sort of mindset of, well, like these are like really good players, so why would I play with each? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the only way I could look at it. But I thought if I've been sent here to play, then I'm gonna do a job.
Yeah. And when you went to York, mate, was that more of a regular thing than the Fev move?
Yeah, York was more regular, so it was more like I think it was a couple of months there. Right. I enjoyed my time there, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And again, how's the environment? Like you said it, I think York are everything but a Super League side, aren't they? Really, the infrastructure and that's there. Did you feel that when you were there they were building towards that?
Yeah, definitely. Like, the facilities were good to use. In training aspects, they were still playing at Bootham Crescent at the time, so it was a bit of a shed. But the facilities in training and stuff like that were great. They had feed provided for them after every session and stuff like that. So it was quite, like you say, it's everything but Super League club, really.
Yeah, and when you're playing regular in the champ, mate, do you become accustomed to maybe not so much the speed and technicalities, but a little bit of the dark arts and that? Do you learn a little bit about the little underhanded intricacies? Because they can help you at that level, can't they, mate? Especially a young lad.
A bit grubber.
Yeah, like the dark bits. Yeah.
You do sort of, but then there'll be instances where you'll do it and then you'll do it to the wrong person. So, thankfully, I've never done it to one person. Like I said, I'm still trying to change now. Like I still feel like quite a nice player.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still working on trying to have a bit more control of the gesture, but I'm just there to enjoy myself more than all.
Yeah. So would it take someone to give you a whack to bring that out of you, mate? Because some people just can't turn that on, Tyler, and that's not a bad thing. It's just because you are a laid back lad. And you look like you're up for a laugh anyway. We've had a little laugh already. It does take maybe, say you're playing at first receiving, you're playing out the back. If someone hits you late, or if your head's getting pushed in the floor and there's fingers up your nose and in your eyes. And
I'm one of them, mate. At the moment in time, I sort of like laugh about it. Like my mum watched the Scotland game and there were a bit of jiff in there, but she said, "Why were you laughing throughout the whole game? Like, why were you constantly smiling?" I'm like, I don't know. I must just have like a natural, I must just be naturally enjoying it. But it does take a lot for me to get overly aggressive in a game. Like I can run straight at people. Like I'm not bothered. I'll run straight at you and I'll prove that I can run harder than you can run at me. Sort of. But in terms of like being a bit grubby, it's never really been in my game.
Yeah. But you're not adverse to a bit of naughtiness, like you'd enjoy that side if
I like that. I think when a game's just one up and it's just aggressive and everyone's being grubby and everyone's being a bit dirty, I like that sort of game, mate.
Yeah, you come alive.
Yeah.
So, what did you take back with you to Leeds after a regular loan move like York? Is a Leeds saying there's an opportunity here for you to play, Tyler? Come back. What's the chat like after the loan move?
No, so I got to a point at Leeds where I was told I'd never play.
All right, okay.
So it got to a point where I hated it. Like I got to a point where I hated being at Leeds, and I started hating rugby.
Yeah.
I was begging to go out on loan and stuff like that, but it was just COVID did it and all this sort of stuff. Because I went to Batley on loan and then COVID it.
Yeah.
And then
just bring it on when it's downhill, mate. Or
no, we're on up. I'm trying to get confused.
So when you're going somewhere again like Batley, mate, which is people probably class it as proper rugby league, don't they? Like the nitty gritty hard graft.
Yeah.
Play on the back of big carries, like without being rude, there's no absolute magicians that are going to pull a rabbit out. Like Gilly might do now and then for him.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of thing. But they play very off the back of a big pat, don't they? And how is it? Is it nice to be depended on? Because you've been in clubs where, I'm not saying Batley don't throw it about, mate, but where they rely on you boys to set a platform, don't they? And
yeah, it is good because as I sort of like got to Batley and stuff like that, I would play with a big pack. I would play with like James Brown, Michael Ward, all them sort of players. So they were anyway, and to sort of like be thrown in mix with them and know that it would just run hard as you can, and then hopefully backs can do something off back of it. Yeah, it was good. It was a good experience, and I think that's what's made me enjoy the sort of like I'll just run straight at you and see what happens.
Yeah, no, good stuff. So, how did you cope with COVID, and what sort of talks with clubs, with Leeds, come on the back of COVID, mate? Did you start to, like you said, because you weren't enjoying rugby, did you start to look outside of rugby at stuff, or?
Yeah, so during COVID, I'd managed to lose 10 kilo.
Some loss, mate, isn't it?
Oh, so I managed to lose 10 kilo because I thought everyone I know is just getting on piss and stuff like that. And just not sort of like training as that. I thought I'm going to train every day. Like I hate road running, mate. I hate it with a passion. But I thought,
on your own, innit?
I thought I'm gonna start running 5Ks. I'm gonna run 10Ks and stuff like that. I'd gone to the field and I'd do Bronco tests, and luckily Leeds had given us some weights as well. So there wasn't a day where I wasn't doing something. I just lose all that weight. I was the fittest I'd ever been, and I thought I'll go back to Leeds and like they'll see how hard I've been working and they'll sort of give me a chance. But obviously it wasn't the case. I got pulled in, and they said that basically I wouldn't be playing from like regardless of any situation. I wouldn't be playing.
Well, even though you're under contract, mate, yeah.
Even though I'm under contract.
Bizarre, that.
So it was the coach at the time. I'm not going to like name or all that, but
yeah,
the coach at the time basically said that I'll never play for him. He just didn't like me.
Okay.
So that was a kick in the teeth, if anything, and that's what I thought. Well, I sod this. Like I don't need to be here. I can go get a job somewhere else. I'll go and enjoy my rugby and all that sort of.
Yeah, I'll keep the weights as well, thanks.
I just thought because that's where army came into my mind again. I thought,
okay,
I was going to army. It's something I wanted to do. It's constantly moving, it's a good life. But I thought, you know what? I'll see what Leeds can do for me. So I spoke to Matt, who was the sort of like the club video word, does all the clips and stuff.
Yeah,
put a good highlight reel together for me. So I thought I'll put it on Twitter and just see what happens. I've not approached anyone, just see what happens.
That's what it's there for, mate, isn't it?
Exactly. I thought because it's there, I'll just put it. Twitter can get to everyone. Do you know what I mean? I think it got like over 1,000 views in 24 hours or something like that. So
you'll take that.
Oh yeah, exactly. So it's a good bit of publicity, and like I'm thankful for all my mates and that they all shared it for me. So
right. And what come off the back of that, mate?
I got a DM off Brendan Shirt, those shares.
Yeah.
I got a DM off him from Oldham, and he was like, "Oh, would you fancy coming for a coffee? Now we'll meet you. We'll come to you. We'll come for a coffee." I'm like, yeah, why not? So I spoke to my agent. I said, "Oh, not Batley. Oldham have come in. They've just said they'll go for a coffee. Like, yeah, go for a coffee. See what they've got to say." So I went for a coffee, and everything they said to me was just spot on. It was just everything appealed to me. Because I told them the situation I was in. I told them what I was planning on doing with going to the army and stuff. And like, mate, it's such a waste for someone like you to go to the army and not try stick it out. So I thought, yeah. And then I went training and started playing, and I've never loved my rugby as more. Like it was great. Even though results weren't going our way, it were best sort of. It got me back enjoying rugby. It made me love it again.
And predominantly, mate, that's why you played, wasn't it? Because you enjoyed it. Yeah, take away the money in the boss facilities or the good facilities or the shit ones. Take away the sacrifice that your mum and your sister have made. Predominantly, no one would have done any of that if you weren't enjoying it.
Oh, exactly. I think it's like you say with facilities, like we were training on a field that were like you'd step on it and it went up to your shins in mud. So maybe it was that heavy, but because the same boat, there were no egos. There was everyone was just on the same level, and it was great. It was a good crack to be around, and they were a good set of lads.
And so how did that go? Talk us through a few of the memorable times there. You won Young Player of the Year as well, didn't you, in a relegated team?
Yeah, so for Oldham, I'd won young player, yeah, which was, I think it's quite unheard of for a relegated team to
I'd say so, mate. Yeah.
But yeah, I think throughout the whole year, like I said, even though the results weren't going our way, and we were looking at relegation and all this, we were never getting smoked by teams. We was always in a game for a long period of the game. And I think I'd scored 10 tries in 18 games at that level. And I'd scored more tries than our wingers scored. Do you know what I mean? So
I hope you let them know.
Oh, I did let them know. But yeah, it just I fell back in love with the game. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being in that environment. So yeah, it was really good.
It obviously showed as well, mate. So in our eyes, down at with this, mate, the dream move come along, didn't it? So what about Widnes made you come down here? Who showed an interest in you? Because there'd have been more than Widnes, and why Widnes?
No, it happened quite early on. Widnes had come in. I think we played against Widnes at Widnes. Not at Widnes, at Oldham, sorry.
Yeah.
And then my agent was like, "Oh, they're interested if you want to have a chat with them." Yeah, definitely. So it arranged for us to have a coffee with both Si and Phil.
Yeah.
And I took my mum as well. And it sort of like went from there. Everything they said again were just spot on. They had good visions for the club. I said to my agent specifically that I didn't want to go somewhere and just be a shirtful. I wanted to go somewhere and play. And because of the situation we was in with Oldham, I thought wherever I'd go, I'd just be a shirtful of that. Nobody's seeing me as a player. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
But thankfully, I went and played every game that I were available for.
I hope you didn't buy any of these coffees, mate.
No, I never bought a coffee.
So when you come down, is the fake pitch an issue for you? Is the big stadium an issue for you, or are they sort of things you just bypass because again you're back in love with the game and the history not bother you out? Because some people can be caught up in that, can't they, Tyler? It can drown them. Yeah, like the team. So like we've been big in the past, haven't we? We've had a few issues recently. We've the big ground for that standard. We've got a black pitch for that standard. I think I don't want to be disrespectful to Widnes fans, but it's as if sometimes there's not a world outside of us.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I'm not saying you'd agree with that or not, but it's still a big move for that standard, isn't it? And
yeah, like you say, I bypass it anyway. I was at that moment in time where it didn't really matter. I could have played on Calcium. I wasn't bothered. Yeah. But I'd spoke to one of my mates who were at Leeds. He sort of like knew what situation I was in and that. And he Jared, if you know Jared.
Yeah.
He said, like, look, I loved it with this. Like, it's a great crack and you'll enjoy it there. So I sort of took a limb on his word.
Right.
Go there. But yeah, it was good. It was like being in a professional. It was like being full time without being full time.
Yeah. And did you come down? You and Liam come down together? Did you? Liam come from Oldham, didn't he?
Yeah, Liam came from Oldham, but Liam's from Wigan anyway.
So yeah. How was the travel down here?
It was a long travel.
It was.
It was like traffic again at that time. But sort of like I'd got to know that Aaron Brown only lived in Oldham.
Yeah.
I jumped in with him, and then we started the car shared from there. I was still putting thousands of miles on my car, but
yeah,
I was enjoying the destination.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that again, that's what matters, isn't it, mate? So, what do you feel went well at Widnes for eyes to be on you? Because I know when you were announced, mate, I don't know if you know or not, people were excited about you.
Yeah.
And you were known about.
I do have a look at like if it's announced, I read the comments straight away just to see what they're saying and stuff like that. So yeah, everyone was quite positive with me going there, and I thought it sort of gives me a sense of like I've got to show them that I am worth it. Like everything, they could have gone and signed someone else, but they signed me. I'll be worth whatever I can give.
Right, and was you enjoying your time before the approach come, mate? Is it something you could have seen going well and better?
I never knew that I'd be back playing the Super League, to be honest. I obviously it's the goal. It's the goal to get back up there. But I'd signed a 2-year deal with Widnes anyway. But I had a Super League clause in there.
Okay, it's clever, mate. Why not, innit?
So it wasn't allowed to come effect until the end of the year.
Right.
But I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. But my agent just rang me saying, "Oh, the opportunity is there. Do you want it?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, definitely."
Okay, so when that comes about, what is it? Is it fast? It seemed quick. Was it quick to you? Yeah.
Literally within a week, I found out.
Okay. Yeah, it is quite rapid, really, mate, isn't it?
But I had a job time and stuff like that, so I had to sort of like go part time with my job and transition over into that way.
Yeah. Again, for proper, like, without being rude, rugby league listeners and viewers, because I cover rugby union as well, they'll get that anything under Super League is boosted by a second income, isn't it? Yeah. It's a big shout to walk away from that income and take a risk on establishing yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Like, there's probably certain clubs where they're paying enough so you don't have to. You don't have to work. But that wasn't the case. I needed to work. I've got a car to pay for. I've got a mortgage, all that sort of stuff. So, but yeah, it was. I took a pay cut, but I'd do it in an heartbeat because that was the level I wanted to go at. Yeah.
No, that's it, mate. You're forever challenging yourself, aren't you? You're forever putting yourself out there and seeing what you can do and what you can't do, and you're not afraid of having a go. So, was there any slight concern or doubt about a mid-season move? Because I imagine that's quite tricky. That.
Not really, and the only reason it wasn't was because, like I said, with my mum said if I ever need anything, it's there. Yeah. No, I don't have to order or anything like that. She said, luckily I don't have to, but if I ever needed anything, she'd be there. So that's all. Like, that sort of giving me the backing of my mum, and if my mum wants me to do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, bit of safety net as well, isn't it, mate? Yeah. So you walk there, you'd have your meeting. Obviously, chats went well, didn't they? So what was a selling point? Because I can't believe you went there imagining what's gone on, which we'll talk about in a minute, basically. But what, again, a bit like York, when you go in there, you're seeing a team on the up. Because Feather are always at the business end, aren't they? So you're expecting that without being rude. When you're in there, is it... Because it's a good group of lads, and like I said, I know Akko, when I've had Greg on and that, I've had Kurt Ag on. You can see something good's happening at Salford. Yeah. But there's something more than just the playing ability, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I never really had a chat with them. So my agent was just like, they want you now. The offer's there. Do you want to go? I'm like, yeah. I said, just send me the contract. I said, send me the contract. It was signed as soon as he got it. So I don't even think they were expecting to get it back that fast.
Right.
Signed it, and then they went, right, you start on Monday. So
so
this is it.
So did you play a reserve game and then straight into the bench on a Super League game?
No, so I was in the team for the reserve game. I was under no illusions. I was going there to play reserves and then hopefully earn some stripes and play first team.
Okay.
So I was under no illusion. And then I'd spoke to reserves coach and like, yeah, right, meet at this time, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, sound. And I got a text from Rolls saying, Sitter's not well. You might be playing. He said, I don't want to have to put you in because of how soon it is, but just be ready. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. And then I got another one saying, right, Sitter's out, you're in. Right, all right, sounds. So I told my mum, like, I were over at Moon. I was absolutely freaking it, but I thought, and it were against Leeds as well. So I felt like I had something to prove as well.
Yeah, nice little start, that, innit?
Yeah, so luckily we beat Leeds. And so I every game I've played is one I've been available for. So every time I've been available, I've played.
I was going to say, did you go with a niggle, Tyler, or had you recovered? Did you have a niggle?
No, so I'd done my hamstring at Widnes.
Yeah.
And then by the time I got told for it, it would sound like I was ready to go.
Sweet.
the mid-season, I'd done my PCL, so that's why I was a couple of weeks. But I was always like rushing to get back. So
yeah, how have you been with injuries, mate, up until this point?
I've never really been too bad with injuries. Like when I was younger, I've always had like knee pain and that, but I've always put that down to growing pains and stuff like that. But I just sort of play through it.
Yeah, crying out for that 10k you lost, mate, innit? Where's that gone?
I know. Need to lose that so my knees can bear the weight.
So again, it is a step up. Let's not beat around the bush, isn't it? So how do you find the step up again? Is it when I played a little bit above where I probably should have when I was playing union and that, mate? I always found the speed and the technicality is the difference, not necessarily the ability. Maybe the passes are crisper, quicker, and on point where you don't break stride, but it tends to be what I can notice, the speed. Is that what you thought it was, mate?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like everyone I've spoken to, like there's no difference other than how fast it is. It's not more physical; it's just a lot more faster, a lot more technical. Like you say, like championship, everyone's out to hurt each other.
Bash, yeah.
Yeah, Super League, it's all quicker, it's all done properly, and it's all done with good technique. So that was the massive difference between the two. But you sort of like get used to it. Do you know what I mean? So you get used to the speed of the game.
I'm guessing it's just a wrestle at the ruck, innit? Trying to stay on your front rather than your back. And
yeah, everyone's trying to put you on your back. You're trying to fight for your front, and before you know it, you're knackered.
So we touched on it moments ago, mate. Could you have imagined the season you've had? I know everyone has goals, mate. And if without being rude, if clubs outside the top four are honest, finals and semi-final probably are a little bit above expectations, aren't they? But you're going and you're beating the big teams home and away. You're causing problems. The lads are getting recognised now, and like Brody won Man of Steel, so it shows that Salford are back to being respected, because last time that happened, they got picked apart a little bit, mate, didn't they? Without being rude, they lost Jackson, Joey went back, and that sort of thing. But the likes of you overlook players, Ackers, Hooker Andy now, like good chance of playing Hooker on the weekend, Danny, and you've got you and Dion getting called up and stuff like that, mate. Sneedy's playing. So how is it going from Championship to Super League to then going to a club that's competing on all fronts and putting you in them windows, mate, basically?
Do you know what? Like I say, it's a bit surreal, and it's not something you'd expect to. But I think what's good with the whole club, and that's like backroom staff and players and everything, everyone's on the same wavelength, and we'll just play a week at a time. We don't get ahead of ourselves. We just play for the next week. So when we have big wins, it's not we are absolute class. Like we love each other, love ourselves. We're mint. It's next job. Do you know what I mean? Next job, next game, and you just keep going like that. And I think Rolls and Ags and Danny they've all sort of like kept everyone's feet on the ground. They've made sure that no one's fallen in love with themselves, and if they have, they've been picked out straight away. We'll do review, and we could have had a really good game, but if these bad bits, they're getting shown. You know what I mean? There's no hiding, and I think that's good. I think the good thing about Rolls is he's straight to the point. There's no messing around. They don't have to pussyfoot. He just tells you how it is, and I respect that. I always needed that in my life. Like something like that, I've always needed. So that's good for me, and I'm sure it reciprocates throughout the whole team.
Yeah, and hence why you're thriving, which you all are, aren't you? So when you're around in them environments, mate, and that, and the times are good, it's the days you get up and you just have that feeling where like you feel unplayable and untouchable. You half know you've won before you've won, or
no.
Does that make sense though? Could you?
Yeah, There's never been a week like that. There's been weeks where we'll come in and we'll be like, we won't be on it as such. A skill won't be as good. We'll be dropping balls or all this, and we'll get brought in. Captain will speak. Brody will speak. Coaches will speak. Right, knock it on the head. Move on. Better tomorrow. And then rightfully so, we're better the next session.
Yeah, because you'll know yourself. There'll be a game there where you're in a game, and you'll know you're in a game, won't you? But you just feel that it's just your day in it. Yeah. No matter what you do, it'll come off. That bounce of the ball will go you rather than them. And I think you're a couple of players off it at Saints, aren't you? In the semi, you're now genuine contenders now, mate, aren't you? And people are recognising that, aren't they?
Yeah, I just think that's what it is. Though. Like, we'll go in pre-season now, starting afresh. What's happened last year has happened. We're back to basics. We just got to play better. We can't be the same because the results will be the same. We've got to get better. We've got to strive to be better. So I'd expect everything to be turned up a notch.
Yeah. No, that's it. If you stagnate, mate, you get found out. Like you just said, that's not the environment you're in, is it? Yeah, exactly. So yeah. So how does that call to the Knights Club, mate? And what does it do for you and your confidence? And what was your mum like as well?
The call came about. I was a walking dog, and I got a call off Blue saying, we're gonna put you in night set up if you fancy it. He went, you haven't got any holidays booked, so have you? I went, well, I have, but not for 8 games, so that's all right. Yeah. And Rose rang me straight after saying, congratulations. I spoke to Blue and told him that you're not worth taking on. You know, like I'm a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely sounds like something you'd say as well. But yeah, so it came across a walking dog, and I was quite buzzing with it, and I was like ringing my mum, but my mum were on holiday, so she couldn't really hear what I was saying.
International tone just costing you £1 a minute.
Right, I think about £4 just to tell her. But yeah, so if she'd have been here, she'd have been happy. I know she would have. Yeah. She came back, obviously, I thought about her. She was.
I can't get signal in my living room. You're getting signal walking the dog.
I make sure I've got signal just in case.
So what? Again, I know you're a way back lad. We've had a laugh and that, but it's a different environment again, mate, isn't it? It's another level up. It's an introduction to potentially fulfilling an ambition you might not have had a year or two ago. Yeah. Where you are only a step away from. Because that's what it's for, Tyler, whether people think that or not. It is a genuine step away from full international recognition, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's what Blue said all the way through. He just said, look, you're here because it's the next step. We're getting you ready for the next step. This is the first stage of an international call. And it's practically so. The people that were on the Knights a year or two ago, they're now playing full first team. They're getting full calls. So it's rightfully so to say that, but I think all of us knew that we're there because we've worked hard all year, and we are getting a little bit of recognition.
Yeah.
Is
it nice and positive to be around a different set of lads? Not that there's out up with the Salford lads, but it nice to get to know different people from different areas, different clubs.
Yeah, well, I knew a lot of them anyway, just from being around the area, and there were quite a few. And people that I played at Leeds with and stuff like that. So I knew a few of them anyway. But it was good. It was good to be in an environment with everyone in it. And obviously, you find out the characters when you're spending 2 weeks away with each other. So
I can imagine, mate. Yeah,
not get to know each other in a different light, but yeah, it was really good, and it was a really good experience that I'm definitely grateful for.
Yeah, couple of tough games, mate. Is it? Are they as tough as club games? Does it feel different?
I think the only way it was different was because we've not had as much time with each other. Like, for how long we were with each other, we gelled really well. Yeah. But obviously, people play their own way, and you don't learn to play off each other that quick. So that was the only hard aspect of just finding out how each other do stuff. But I think as sort of like games gone on, we understood.
Yeah. All right, mate. So I can see on your hoodie there, it's got your stamp all over it. Talk to us about what your hoodie's representing, and is that your own like your own business, is it, mate? Yeah.
Yes, I do personal training as well. So at a point where I'd left Leeds, I'm the worst person at deciding what I want to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do in terms of work, anything. I worked on a building site for a bit. I thought, I don't really want to work on a building site, so I thought I love training and I love sort of like interacting with people. So I think personal training will be a good sort of route to go down. And it's such a there's so many personal trainers, it's ridiculous. But I try to use the fact that I've been coached by some of the best S&C coaches and been with some of the best athletes to sort of like differentiate me from others.
The regular Joe, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have a genuine enjoyment for it. I don't really see it as a job. I still do it now, but I just do it because I enjoy doing it.
And you can pick and choose when you do it, mate, rather than be dictated to.
Well, I do it. I still work part-time in a children's home as well. I pick up hours there. So I just do it because I don't like being sat around doing nothing. I'd rather go do something.
Yeah. And so is that something people know about you, that the children's home? So talk to us about that. How does that happen? And
so I'd applied for a job in a children's home because I hated doing the building site. So not hated it, but it wasn't.
It just worked for you. Yeah.
So I thought, because my mum used to do this job, and I knew she enjoyed it before, I thought it'd be good to get into. But I was expecting it to be a job where I'm gonna have to like fight with kids all the time. I'm gonna hit my kids every day.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's one of the most like eye-opening and enjoyable things I've ever done. Like, really enjoy it. Yeah.
To be fair, I bet it was intimidating when you walked in with your black belt around, from karate, mate. You're not going to get many kickoffs.
I only lasted 2 months.
So yeah, that's it's something you don't have to do as well, mate, without being rude in it, because at the end of the day, you are a professional athlete playing elite sport at an elite level.
Yeah.
So surely that gives them something, seeing you walk through the door with your black belt around your head. Well, not joking aside, but like it must do, mustn't it, to say like, no, if I can do it, you've had your ups and downs, you've gone about it a tough way as well, mate. You've been willing to drop a standard or two to prove you can do it. And did the kids know that, and did they know what you're about and stuff?
They know I play rugby, and a lot of them come to the rugby games. Like, if I can get tickets, I'll give them to the kids. Just I'd rather them come watch rugby than causing trouble on in neighbourhoods. You know what I mean? So they do come and watch. They do come and watch play rugby, and they enjoy it. And a lot of them have started getting into it a bit more. Some of them aren't bothered, but they just like the day out.
Yeah, that's what it's about, mate. Making a difference, isn't it?
Yeah, even if I'm on TV, it just gives them something to tell. He's looked after us. Like, oh, I know him. So it's good in that aspect, but yeah, that sort of job has sort of like helps me keep my feet on the ground as well.
I'm gonna say that, mate, puts things into perspective a little bit, mate, and
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like, when my mum used to do this job, she'd speak to everyone. And I'm like, why are you speaking? And I'm like, they're not the type of people we'd speak to. Do you know what I mean? And now it's just sort of open my, like, I've got. It sounds bad, but it's made me appreciate giving my time to anyone. Anyone can have my time. Do you know what I mean? I'm not afraid to give anyone a couple of minutes, or do you want to chat? You'll have a chat. Do you know what I mean? I'll speak to anyone nowadays.
I thought I was blessed and lucky, mate. You're just saying like you do it all the time.
Not this. I don't do this all the time.
So what are your future ambitions, mate? Now you've had a bit of a taste of international rugby. You're playing Super League. Basically, when you're available, you're playing, aren't you?
Yeah.
So what are your future ambitions and what you're looking to do in the game?
Well, obviously, I think it goes for anyone. I want to play international. I definitely want to do that. But I think the ultimate goal would be playing international, getting caps out. I wouldn't mind going to Australia as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah. Their beaches are a bit better than ours as well, mate, aren't they? Only a bit. Yeah. No, that's good, mate. So I've got a few daft questions for you. Yeah. So, any pre-match superstitions?
Pre-match. So every night I used to have enchiladas.
That's not a bad tea, mate, is it?
Oh no, I love enchiladas, but yeah, before a game, like the day before a game, I'll eat anything, like whatever's in front of me, I'll just eat it. The day of a game, I don't really eat too much. If it's an early kickoff, I don't eat before a game sometimes because I get that nervous. But no, as far as superstitions go, as long as I've got my budgie smugglers and my boots, I'm all right.
You're good to go.
Yeah.
So the toughest player you played with and against, mate, bear in mind, tough is different definition for everybody, isn't it?
Yeah. So for the tough, for like the person I've seen run the ball the hardest, Sitter. His videos still are all over YouTube.
They are, yeah.
His backline carries, just run straight into it. And I think probably against. I can't quite put a name on it, but definitely somebody in the championship just for how physical they are.
Yeah. Like you said, their ambition in a tackle and a carry is different, isn't it?
Yeah, they're yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So your favourite away ground?
I like Warrington. I like Warrington's stadium. It's good facilities there. But I like Leeds as well. Leeds' stadium's really good.
So are you into the older grounds or the football stadium design sort of thing?
I'm into the newer grounds, mate. I love
the
it.
bigger grounds.
I love it all up to date. But
yeah,
if we're going off like social media, like I played at Wigan when I was in academy, but like their facilities just on a whole are immense. So
yeah,
teams have got a lot of good facilities now.
No, you've got to if they want to keep producing and attracting young talent and that, mate. They need to, don't they? Because it matters now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, say you're out on the lash with the lads or the England boys, and if it's not in a pub, it might be an initiation. So, what song are you going to give us?
What song? I don't mind a bit of Adele. Someone Like You.
You got it in you, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind. I can hit the notes just about, but then I don't mind switching up and going for Rick Astley. Never Gonna Give You
Up. Like a mega mix.
Yeah. My music taste varies massively.